For this video, I'm going to do a painting, totally from imagination and remembering, of a recent sunset that I witnessed. I'm sure you've seen these before. The sun at the horizon goes, and the sky goes a brilliant orange, fading up into yellows. And this is with a few scattered clouds. It just become very dark and very dramatic. And in front of it is a stand of trees silhouetted against this brilliant orange. And it's something I've seen quite often and always felt inspired by it and wanted to do a painting. So here's my opportunity. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through and do a time-lapse recording of me doing the painting, simply because it takes about 5 hours to do that, and I'm sure you don't want to watch every individual stroke. I will post some stills at a couple of stages throughout the process, and I'll describe the materials that I'm using, the pencils that I'm using. When I'm doing a painting like this, I always start by defining the dimensions of the painting, and it's always smaller than the paper or the surface that I'm working on. This provides a little protection in the event paper can be fragile, corners can get dinged, and you'd hate for that to happen to something you've worked on for a very long time. This also defines the aspect, the size of the painting, so you're not struggling later to make things fit the way you want them to. So that would be the first step. All I'm going to do here is I'm just going to measure off the distances, the size that I want this to be. Mark each side so that they're the same. In this case, 1.5 inches, top and bottom. Very straightforward, but this is something that I recommend that you do on all your drawings. Just make them smaller than the paper itself. And just measure it off. And at the bottom, we're going to do the same dimension. It makes it much easier for framing when it comes to framing. And it also, as I mentioned earlier, protects your work from ever getting too severely damaged from handling or whatever. There we go. Now we're ready to start the actual painting, and I'm going to start by applying several layers of the background. I'm going to mix the colors. I'm going to be using tissue to blend them together to just create a very smooth, rich background. Okay, so let's get on with the drawing. Okay, to begin with, in this sketch, I'm filling in the background with multiple layers of oranges, yellows, using 2 or 3 of each, and blending with a tissue. This blends all the colors together, gives it a nice even underlay, eliminates a lot of the white speckle that sometimes appears in colored pencil drawings. This is a drawing that's completely done from memory, and it's something I keep seeing at sunsets, and I've always thought I'd like to do a drawing of it. So here I am putting in the trees, and they're just basically a silhouette against the orange background. Here I'm putting on the branches with many of the smaller branches. And next I'm going to add in the hills that are behind the trees and add in some clouds to the sky. It's basically a very clear sky. Sunset, I'm sure you've seen similar things. And here I'm layering some browns, oranges, reds, with some indigo blue to create the thing. Here's the middle stage. Now I'm going to add the finer branches to just thicken the image, the idea of the trees against the sunset. I'm doing this a little slower. I apologize, the focus on this wasn't quite as sharp as I had hoped, but you can still see what I'm doing and get the idea. So this is just a lot of, very patient, repetitive filling in of all the little branches, just to try and thicken up the branches against the sky, make things a little more realistic. I'm using here basically just the indigo pencil to draw the branches, and they're just small little marks. It's all very very intuitive, I guess. You're just making little branches and just adding lots and lots of them wherever it looks like it needs one to fill in the space. This is fairly compressed. This has probably taken about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to do this, and here's the final image. These are the pencils that I was using to create this painting. And this is the paper that I was using to do the painting. It's a Strathmore colored pencil pad. It's a very nice paper. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative and helpful. Hopefully you've learned something from it. If you have, like and subscribe would be very much appreciated. Look forward to seeing you soon.